Good morning, students. Good morning, Sam. Welcome to another topic. For the English one, oral communication in context. So we are going to talk about types of speech styles that will be used in different speech contexts. So before we proceed, let's have a recap or review about the previous topics that I have discussed previously. Yeah. So we talk about speech context, which preferably talks about the intrapersonal and the interpersonal speech context. So intrapersonal, it's about talking to yourself, where you as a speaker acts as both the receiver and the listen and the uh, sender. So the interpersonal is the interchanging of ideas between two or more persons. So we have what we call dyad communication, consists of two people, and a small group communication, at least three people, but not more than 12 people involved, discussing a certain agenda that needs to be done or that needs to be achieved. So small group discussion. These are subtypes of the interpersonal context. And the last type of interpersonal context is the public is where it is where a speaker is speaking in front of a vast number of people, which is what we call audience. So in this part, we are going to tackle about the types of speech styles. So what are these speech styles? In order for you to have a guide on what part am I discussing, you can also read your information 3.2 while we are doing this class. Okay, so before we proceed to our discussion for each style, let me introduce you the objectives that you need to be able to achieve at the end of the lesson. So the first objective that you need to achieve is that you must be able to differentiate the types of speech styles, specifically intimate, casual, and consultative. And the last one is to identify social situations in which each speech style is appropriate to use. So these are the objectives that you need to achieve. Later on, we will be discussing each type of speech style so that you will know uh, what are those are defined for. Okay, so let's begin our first part. So the types of speech styles. So what are these? What is this speech style? So what is speech style? It is how something is said, done, or expressed or performed, and it varies according to different speech contexts. So this can be like elaborated more through its styles. So speech styles, it is how you will. It is the way that you say something, or it is the way that something is said, done, expressed, or performed. So it varies from each context or each speech or communication situation. So if you're talking to yourself, talking to someone, it varies your style of using your doing speech or communication. So these are the speech styles or the type of speech styles. The first one is the intimate, a type of speech style where conversations occur between persons of close relationships. For example, married couple, family, etc. So picture this out that lovers or girlfriends and boyfriends or those people that who are in a relationship are using this style, the intimate one. It's because you are talking about certain things with the person that is closely related to you or that has a relationship to you. So, for example, you are a married couple. For example, they are talking about uh, what will they do or how will they start their building their homes, stuff like that, because they are very close due to their connection or bond. And family, they're talking about what to eat, where to go, where to gala, something like that. So between persons of close relationship, if they are conversing those persons that are closely related, and that is considered an intimate speech style. They are using this type of style, speech style. Okay, so and the next one is the casual. Yeah, it's casual. I thought it was causal. It's casual. So casual speech style or this type of speech style, these are conversations that occur between friends, classmates, and coworkers. For example, you're talking with your friends, like for example, you're talking with your friends about your campus crush, something like that. Uy, uy, alam mo yun siya, yun siya. Tumingin siya sa akin. So you are talking about something else with your friends. It's not really intended for close relationship. It's not really considered as intimate, but it is considered as casual because you are casually talking someone that is that has a relationship or that has a bond with you but not that close. So parang ganon yung ano yeah concept niya. So it's yeah it's casual. And the next one is consultative. Consultative? Consultative? Consultative. So these are conversations that occur between doctors and their patients and lawyers and their clients. So it's quite understandable that when a doctor talks to his or her client, talks about giving prescriptions and what to drink, what kind of medicine you need to drink when you have a migraine, when you have something illness in your body, and for that is considered consultative because that person is consulting to his or her client. So you are telling someone to do this and that, which means you are consulting them to on what to do and how to do it. So that is consultative speech style. Okay. So before we proceed to the other speech style, do you have any questions so far, Sam?
None, sir.
None. Okay. So by the way, glad to have you back. How many days? So yeah, it's like glad to have you back, and I hope you're going very well. Just kano lang advertisement. I hope you're getting well soon or sooner or later. Puhorn. So ganun. Okay. So if you don't have any questions, so we can now proceed to the next speech styles. So the next one is what we call formal. So from the word formal, it is this style is used in formal setting and one-way in nature. It is called or considered as one-way in nature because, for example, uh, graduation speech or symposium or orientation, there is a speaker in front of a vast number of people, which is what we call audience. And one way in nature, it's because the model of communication used here is only linear, which means there is a sender, the sender sends the message to the receiver without getting any feedback. So that is a formal type of speech style. This is the formal speech style. And that is what it's called. That is why it's considered one-way nature. For example, SONA or the State of the Nation address of the president. So as you can see on the TVs, the televisions, and the news, when our president conducts or perform or hold an event, which is what we call SONA or State of the Nation address, uh, in the television, he is the only one talking about what he has written in his notes, presenting or even persuading or even just informing about what he has written. So he didn't get any feedback after that because it's one way in nature and it is quite formal. It's because it is not a casual conversation like, oh, President, I have something. Uh, how's your breakfast? Or something like that. It is not done like that. It is very formal. It's because it's very serious matter. So that is why it's considered as formal speech style, yung sona ni Presidente. Okay? And the last speech style is, yeah, Yeah, it's the last speech style. Is Frozen. Not the Frozen movie. Dili tong Frozen. Let it go. So Frozen speech style rarely changes or never changes at all. Or it never change, I guess. That is what we call frozen because it is frozen in time and content. For example, Panatang Makabayan. Did it change from Panatang Makabayan, Ako ay Pilipino? Did it change to from Ako ay Pilipino? Did it change to Ako ay Americano? No, it is frozen in time and content because it it delivers on how something else that is not meant to be changed. For example, your nationality. For example, our country. It could be changed once we are colonized or once we are, you know, not really that word. Yeah, let's go with colonized, something like that. Once we are colonized again, it could be changed from something else or according to the country that is colonizing us. But it is considered as a frozen speech style. It's because it is frozen in time and content. Yung Panata Makabayan. Tapos the preamble of the Constitution. I forgot what is the content of preamble. Even though I have read that before when I was college. But the preamble of Constitution is exactly what it is from decades ago. From decades ago up to now, it is still the preamble and the content is still intact or the same, just like before. That's why it's called frozen. Okay, so before we end our class, just a few recap lang. Speech style, the definition of it is how it is the way or how you will going to say something or how you will do something or express or perform something. So it varies from speech context. It varies from your context, from your situation. For example, your situation is between your family. You're using an intimate speech style. For example, if you are talking with your friends, classmates, and coworkers, you are using the casual speech style. The consultative occurs only when a doctor talks to his or her clients, patients, and lawyers with their clients. So talking about material stuff or talking about serious business stuff, something like that. That is consultative. The next one is formal, the president's State of the Nation address, or even just simple speech, a graduation speech, where the speaker stands in front of an audience using the formal speech style, and it is one-way in nature. There are no feedbacks received. There's only sender sending the message to the receivers. And the last one is the frozen, rarely changes or never changes at all. It is frozen in time and content, just like Panata Makabayan. Lupang Hinirang can also be considered as frozen speech style, but it's more of a song. So it is out of this, out of this dimension of ours, which we only focus on speech styles and the preamble of constitution and etc. So these are the speech styles that that can be used from different speech contexts or communication situation. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for joining. Sam, maraming salamat. And before we end our class, do you have any questions sa mga parts kanina? But
Kasi natapos ko na din naman sa depan. Wala po. None, sir.
None? Do you need more examples on each speech style or something like that? Or
Okay na po, sir. Natapos ko na din naman sa depan.
Okay. So once again, this is it. The end of our presentation, my class, our Zoom class. And thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for watching, Sam. Thank you very much for participating in this class. Just a few reminders lang, not only to you, Sam, but to your classmates and to other English 1 students that you need to perform your course activity 3.2, and just a little advice, you could do it in an early time so that you will have no problem at the end of the week or something like that, at the end of the day. So if you did it early, then you will have no problem at all. Then you will have all the time you can do by playing games or doing stuff like that, extracurricular activities. Or if you're not that well, you are you have the time to recover yourself and then go back to normal, something like that. So yeah, again, few reminders. Perform your course activity 3.2. And if you don't know how to perform that, you need to read your information sheet 3.2. And of course, if you have any questions so far about the activities, you can just uh, beat me up on Messenger. And I also posted my numbers, smart and globe numbers, in our group. So you can just contact me there, and then I will call you once you text me like, "Hi sir, good afternoon. I have a question. May question ako." Then I will call you next time. I will call you in that certain time. Okay? So